We're making stuffed eggplant. In our garden, our eggplants were really pretty small the duration of time that we were there. So I would fill a tray with like 20 or 24 of these baby eggplant. And I would cut them down the center, just score them lightly with a paring knife, and trim all around the edges, put them face down with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roast up the eggplant itself. And then flip them over and let them cool. And I'm making mine with lamb. Of course, you can make this with ground beef, with ground turkey, with ground impossible, plant-based meat, on and on and on, whichever protein source you'd like. For every tray full, very large baking sheet is what I have here. So here, we're cooking a dozen halves. So for every tray full, I use about 2 pounds of the protein, or if I was using the plant-based protein, those are sold in 12-ounce packages, so I would use 1.5 pounds. And we just start by sweating the onions, 2 small, or 1 kind of medium to large onion. Let that sweat first, then add garlic. And then we're gonna make this spice blend. The spice blend, good, real good. So we're gonna take a little fennel pollen, and I put about 1/3 of a palmful each for 1 batch of protein, pimenton or smoked sweet paprika, the fennel pollen, a little ground or crushed red pepper, equal amounts of all of these guys, okay? Cumin, which is nice and smoky and kind of sexy and sassy, and a little bit of fennel seed. We add, about 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, or I like smoked cinnamon, and 1 little pinch of clove, unless John is standing in the kitchen, in which case wait till he leaves the kitchen and then add it, because he thinks he doesn't like clove, but he eats clove all the time. He eats it in several dishes, he just doesn't know he's eating it. And so then we're going to add a little salt and pepper. You can also, if it's easier for you, to gauge how much salt and pepper, it's cool to break up the meat a little bit, right? Mix this guy all together, and then evenly distribute it over the top. And just let that brown and crumble. Then it's gonna look like this guy. And we're going to add some diced tomato to it. And here's how we get to the diced tomato. You can take any tomato, core it, split the skin, just a crisscross, throw it into boiling water, just a brief amount of time to loosen the skin. And we have an ice water bath. We just let that guy hang out for a sec, and I have a couple done back here. To the protein that we already have cooked out with our spices, I'm going to add that fresh tomato, and I'm going to add nuts. We've got a good, what's supposed to be 1/2 cup, but I usually stand by the stove. I just pretty much do this the whole time I'm cooking. So you might want to make a little bit more. So you could have some smackums. Pour in some nuts. So now we're going to take our protein of choice filling, I'm using lamb, and we put it back into our little globe eggplants that we've roasted cut side down with olive oil, salt, and pepper in a super high oven. Then we cool them, of course, so we can handle them. And then we kind of overstuff and just kind of really nest it in there. That's why we score it. So there's all of these great troughs. Now, this is delicious as is. I just roast them off to set them whenever I want to serve them and top it with mint and parsley. But in this case, especially when I'm in Italy, my husband rarely is interested in eating anything without a copious amount of cheese on it. So, I've got pecorino and parm. Okay, we're gonna put a little cheese on this and throw it in the oven. It smells so good. And then we take parsley and mint.